What is the right way to prepare for Bible college? First of all, I would look to see if you can afford it. Do you have to go into debt to go to said Bible college? If you do, then you should not go there. I cover this in my book, Faith and Finance, Peace with or Without Prosperity. The reasons biblically from Scripture why you should not go into unsecured debt. And college loans are unsecured debt. So that's a closed door. But the good news is that if you don't walk through that door and go into debt, it's a mistake you didn't make. So yay, there's some clarity. God has not opened that door for you. Where he leads, he feeds. Where he guides, he provides beforehand. So that's the first thing. If you're thinking about going to Bible college but you don't have the money to do it, don't do it. Second of all, I hate to talk about money, but money makes the world go round. Understand that God will provide if it is his will for you within his will. There is not always like one clear his will. But if you're not going against Scripture, it's kind of like an amoral decision. You have the liberty to do it, whether it's wise or not. That's up to your circumstances in life. But it will not provide for your income. Bible college is, generally speaking, for a ministry. There are some differences, like Pensacola Christian has some secular courses that provide an income for career. And I talk about that in the video series, The Living on a Singles Income. I talk about careers, and then I talk about which colleges, and et cetera, et cetera. So just understand, Bible college will not help you pay your bills. Christians are almost always poor. And therefore their ministries don't pay much. It's the exception to the rule. Very often you are going to have a dual income, the job that pays your bills and then your ministry. That is very often how it is. So just keep your mind level-headed in that, which is again why I don't go into debt, because then you also have debt coming out of Bible college, but not a job that's going to pay for that debt. So then my next thing is to understand that not everybody who goes to Bible college is right with the Lord. Sometimes it's because they're a new Christian and they're going there to become right with the Lord, to learn and grow. Sometimes it's because they grew up in a church and this is just like the next step. This is what's expected of them once you graduate. You don't go to a secular college, which I'm not condoning going to secular college. I think you have to be extremely careful if you're thinking about going down that path, and you have to be very prepared with apologetics and understand why you believe what you believe. Also a plug for my book, The Amazingly Deep Roots, and I actually go through those apologetics in the last section of the book. I think everybody should read that if you're going to go to a secular Bible college, and maybe just a regular Bible college. But not everybody is right with the Lord when they go to Bible college. And so don't just marry any guy thinking that, he's in Bible college and he's probably going to be in the ministry, which means that he probably doesn't ever look at pornography on his phone. No, that's not true. You should check all of the things before you just assume that this guy who is going to be, on fire for the Lord. There's so many things. Then I would watch that other video on how I knew my husband was God's will for my life, because that covers some things you ought to check with any guy, especially who says he's a Christian. So then there's friends. Prepare yourself mentally that you can say Christians have cliques. I wouldn't, because then you get kind of your feelings hurt and stuff like that. But truth is, like attracts like. And sometimes people have grown up together in this Christian circle, and they've all gone to all of the youth conferences together, and they've all gone to the same camps, and they've all grown up together, and then they're all at this Bible college together, and they're best friends, and they don't have the capacity to want to be somebody else's friend. It takes too much time, too much RAM of their own effort. And so you're alone, and you might be like, how come Christians don't like me? How come they're really, really good friends and they're not really good friends with me? And then people still have the flesh, so maybe they are going to be snooty. You got that everywhere. People are still growing. So don't get your feelings hurt. Just a man that hath friends must show himself friendly, and just be friendly to everybody. And then you'll figure out who you're clicking with. Also, you might be worldlier than you know you are, or somebody else might be worldly and they don't know that they're worldly. And so there's that whole idea of you should hang around people that you want to be like. and this Christian who's a newbie might not be somebody that you want to be like, I would encourage you to mentally say, I'm going to strive to be friends with people who are wiser than I am and are doing right for the Lord, but also I'm going to reach down. I know that even sounds bad, but I'm just going to accept it for what it is. Reach down and be an encouragement to that person who's coming in and they might need, that's it, esteeming others better than yourselves. They might need, and don't do it to be their best friend, because you will pick up their bad habits, but if you're doing it as a ministry in that scenario, you might be able to be a huge encouragement to somebody who's growing. What else? Not all of your teachers are going to be right with the Lord. Okay, no, that's not what he meant. Not all of your teachers might be biblically exactly the same as you are in your doctrine, and therefore you might think that they're not right with the Lord. Stupid pride. So just understand the Bible is the Bible, and if you disagree with this person according to Scripture, you don't need to go up and be all like, you're wrong. I'm right because I got Bible and my dad told me this. Humbly look at the Bible, and if you think they're wrong, then stick with the Bible, but understand this is my biggest life lesson that I learned in college. I had 2 of them. This is huge. If you can learn one thing in your class, one thing of truth, it was worth it. So be humble and be eager to learn and grow in the Lord. I think that's it. Be careful who you want to date or marry. I would watch that video that I did about how did I know God's will for my life. And that's pretty much it. You just have to, it's an amoral question. There is no right way. But the more you can understand about what you're getting into, the more comfortable you'll feel. Don't get your feelings hurt. People are still sinners. So that's all.